All right, friends, we are back with our third video. So now that we've added our trigger box into the scene, we've added the text render actor, and we've also removed the text because we wanted to say something else once the player enters or collides with this trigger box. Let's go ahead and do that. And the way we're about to do this is by adding a blueprint, or I should say, turning this trigger box into a blueprint. So anytime you hear blueprint in Unreal Engine, it basically means code. So whenever we're adding a blueprint to something, it's because we want it to do something. So the way we're about to do this is we'll point our attention to the right side of the screen, which is the outliner, and we'll go ahead and click on this button right here. So you'll see trigger box, there's an add button, but there's also a button right here with like three little nodes that are connected to one another. So this reflects our blueprint. And it says, convert this actor into a reusable blueprint class that can have script behavior. I know I just read something. It's like when I hover over anything, it appears. For some reason, it didn't appear in the last video. So that is something to keep in mind, but it shouldn't distract you from your work at all. So we'll go ahead and click on this button. So once we click on that, it should load something on the screen. We'll just wait a little bit. I don't think I put in much force when I clicked on it. Or my computer's a little slow. But what we'll do, we can also name this blueprint. I'll just leave it like this for now. Actually, it'll be fun to just, why not name it? I can probably name it. I'll name it text render actor underscore blueprint. And this right here adds it for me. So all I'm doing is I'm just adding it. And there's different things that we can worry about later, but this is more for like if you're programming a full level where they just kind of like organize them in like a much organized way. But we'll probably just cover that once it's time to really do your final thing. But that is not a big concern for now. So what we'll do, we just changed, all we did was change the name, and we'll go ahead and hit select. So now that we've selected it, it's gonna bring me to another screen that's loading. Hopefully, I hope my computer didn't crash. Unreal just does certain things at times. So we'll just wait for it to load really quick. And then, yep, it's opening the editor. It's just kind of opening it, just taking some time because now it's loading a brand new page. So we'll wait on that. It's at 100%. So right now, what it's gonna open up, like for our next step, we're gonna go into the event graph, but we're not at the event graph yet. So right here, this is the viewport. So as you can see here, there's three tabs. There is viewport, construction, script, and the event graph. So the viewport, what all of this is, you can also, remember how in the beginning we've modified the sizes if we wanted to. This is what kind of like the viewport allows you to do. Let's say I wanted to actually turn this into something, maybe turn it into a door even. This, the viewport allows me to do that. It allows me to change the dimension of something here, but that is not what we're doing today. Today, our main focus is going to be the third tab, which is the event graph. So Professor Dumel, what is the event graph? That's what you guys are probably asking. I know we've technically already covered this, but for anyone who's just watching this, the event graph is where all of the coding for Unreal Engine takes place. This is where we make things happen. So we'll just get right into it. Right here, they already give you certain things to begin with, but we'll just go ahead and delete. Let's go ahead and click on event begin play, backspace, delete it, event tick, we'll delete those because we're not dealing with those right now. And the main thing to focus on is right here, it says right click to create new nodes. So anytime you're trying to add something on the event graph, you go ahead and right click. And once you right click, a lot of different things happen. So Unreal is not traditional, as in like you're not typing a bunch of code in, but you're connecting all of these things, and this is called a node. So anytime you add anything in here, let's say I would just do something really simple. I'll do set text, something really simple. I'll just do it. Click on this, boom. It's just, this is another node that has been created. I'll go ahead and delete it because we will not be using that today. The main one we'll be focusing on is event actor begin overlap. And what is event actor begin overlap? This is, since we are dealing with a trigger box. So in this case, we're saying I want an event to happen as soon as an actor begins overlapping with this trigger box. And remember, we're still trying to do text render actors. So the way that we're gonna do this is we'll leave this here. And let me walk you through the user interface right now really quick. So right here on the left hand side, we have our components. So the components are anything that we want to add into the scene or anything that we want to connect to this trigger box. The main one that we'll be focusing on today will be variables. And variables are things that can change in the world. So remember, we're adding text, so we want text to be able to do something. So that's what the components do. Compile is when we'll just go on these different things right here. Compile and save are going to be really important. So anytime you code anything here on the event graph, you have to compile and you have to save. If the code doesn't make sense, it will not compile. It will give you an error message and tell you, hey, I think you need to check this right here because there might be an error here. So browse allows you to look at different folders that you're needing. And I won't spend too much time looking at all of these things yet because they're not things that we're going to be using. So we'll just get right into it. The main thing that we'll focus on when it comes to the components aspect will be variables. These are the only ones we're using for this simple exercise. As you can see here, there's a plus sign. There's a plus sign that allows you to add variables into the scene. We'll go ahead and click the variable. We're going to be adding 2 of them in our scene today. So I'll just go ahead and click the plus sign again. And another thing that I want you guys to recognize is on the right side right here, far right, there's like a little eyeball. We'll just go ahead and click on it and it opens it. What this eyeball does is that it allows you to edit anything that you add here in this variable section. It allows you to see it right here in our outliner once we connect those variables to the trigger box. So it's something to keep in mind. So make sure you do that. The first one that we'll add, remember, we're trying to add some text, right? So the first thing that we'll add here, we can also rename it. So in order to rename it, just go ahead and right click. I'll name this text value, meaning text value will be the thing that I want. I want this trigger box to be able, I want to be able to type something for this trigger box to prompt on the screen. We'll go ahead and change it. We're not going to be doing a Boolean. We will just, as you can see, there's so many of them right here. We'll go ahead and do string. Anytime there's a string, it means it's just a piece of text. So text, letters, that's what this variable is. We'll rename this other variable. I'll go ahead and right click. I'm going to go ahead and call it text render actor. So now right now, and it will go ahead and change this as well. It should not be Boolean right here. This one might not. You can either type in text render actor instead of looking for it. And once you type the full thing, it'll pop up right here. Text render actor, boom. Just click on it. Simple, just click on it. Don't do anything else. So now we have a text value string. We're telling this trigger box that we want to able to input text into it. And right here, we've added a text render actor, meaning we want to connect a particular text render actor to this trigger box. So now that we already have our first node, remember, first node right here, and similar to our home screen where we have the world outliner that gives us more details about a particular object in the world, this is similar to this text value. The details are right here. It lets you do different things to it as well. So description, so if you are working on a team of programmers and you guys want to basically add more description into what that thing does, that is okay. And all these all of these different things are things that you can change for that specific variable as well. The first thing that we will do, we will go ahead we're going to bring the text here, the value here, and the text render actor. We're going to bring them all on this graph right here. The way we'll do this is go ahead and just drag it. So you can just drag it on the screen. All I did was I just clicked, left clicked with my mouse and just kind of like just pressed on it and just dragged it onto the scene. You'll click on get. When it does this, we click on get. And what get is basically telling you to connect it to this trigger box. It's saying when this particular thing happens, get this item. So it's as if I'm saying, hey, when this was the real world, I'm like, hey, as soon as I step into this room, I want to get this. So that's what it's doing. And we'll go ahead and do the same thing for the text render actor. We go ahead and click on get. So now that we have both of these here, I like to arrange things nicely. We'll go ahead and start coding. So now that we have this right here, remember in the beginning I was like, hey, we go ahead and right click, and anytime you want to add something. And then we'll go ahead and remove context sensitive, because what it does is it kind of like filters a bunch of things to make it easier for you, but sometimes it can just hide different things that you're looking for. So the only thing we're going to be searching today, we'll go ahead and type text render actor, because remember, the main goal is trying to have this trigger box get a text, get a value, in order to connect to a text render actor. So we're gonna be looking for this, and what we'll do to go ahead and don't click on text render actor. We'll just look for another one. It just didn't. I meant don't get it under the text render actor. We're gonna get it from. We're gonna look for it. We should be getting it under. Actually, text render actor might be it. Because sometimes it doesn't give me the specific one, but I actually don't know if I wanted the get text render actor. I don't know if that's the one that I wanted, but let's see if we get, no, that's not it. So now just a little troubleshoot. Maybe I should, let's see if I leave. It should be under object types. Oh, no, it should be under set text. Actually, we'll go ahead and type set text, not text render actor. You're gonna see how all of this comes about. So you're gonna type set text, and we are going to look for a title or a drop down that says text render actor. We can go ahead and remove context sensitive. We're gonna look for text render actor. Boom, there we go, text render actor. We're gonna click on set text, and boom, we have it. So now it's gonna help us set that specific text for it. So what we'll do right here, we're gonna be connecting. As you can see here, event actor began overlap. The arrows sort of connect. So if you see this arrow right here, this white arrow, it connects to this. So right now what this is saying is once the actor begins overlapping with the text render, with the trigger box, I want this specific thing to happen. I want it to set a text. What kind of text do I want it to set? This is where the value comes in. This is the value, and this should appear. Okay, this is the value that I want to appear, meaning this is the thing that I want it to say. But it's gonna ask you, okay, Professor Dumel, what is supposed to show the text? Now that you've told me, okay, when it overlaps, it needs to set this text, and then it should have a value, meaning it should have words. But what is gonna input the different words that I want it to appear? This is where the text render actor comes in. So now it is all connected. And then as you can see, you can just kind of use context clues. As you can see, the colors kind of align with each other. So now the last thing we'll do for the event graph is, remember, we'll compile. Compile will tell me, okay, great, this code makes sense. And we'll also save this because we want to be able to save our progress. Compile just kind of lets us know, okay, this code works, it makes sense. And then save tells me, okay, this is something you want to go back to. So yeah, so that's it for the event graph. I'll do one walkthrough and then we'll go into our main page and see how all of this connects. So what we've done, we've added different variables to our, well, I'll go back to the viewport. We had this trigger box in our scene right here. And then if we go back here, we have this, and then we went to the event graph. And remember, the event graph is where all of the coding happens. So what we've done here, we've added different variables to this text render actor, and to the trigger box. And what variables are things that are able to change, basically. And we've put our little light bulbs. Remember, our light bulbs were off, but we've put them on because we want to be able to see them in our scene right here. We want to be able to see them when we come back here. So then now, the other thing we've done is we left the event actor begin overlap node because it was already here. We dragged these two on our scene, and then we dragged them on our scene. So if I go ahead and drag it again, we did this. We selected get text value, and we connected them. And we also grabbed the set text from the, when we right click right here, we got the set text under the text render actor. I'll show you again. Set text, we went all the way down. It's here somewhere. It should be under text render actor right here. So we did this and added on to the scene. And how we did it was we did it, yeah, about adding it, but this is the way we coded it. We said, okay, once an actor begins overlapping with this trigger box, we want to set a text. What kind of text, what kind of input do we want? Output do we want? We wanted a text value, meaning we wanted string, we wanted text. But then what is supposed to show that text? We connected it to the text render actor, and we looked at the different colors as well because they give us some guidelines. And then we compiled everything, and then we ended up saving it. And then now we'll move on to the last step. Thank you so much.